All right? But seriously, in the hope that it might lift their spirits, Phil Collins shares some new music he's been working on during the lockdown with family and friends on Facebook. The post receives lots of likes and nice comments, which seems to be the only type of response he gets these days. Heaven forfend that anyone should actually pay money for it, but makes him feel happy nonetheless. Clark, one of Phil's social media friends that he's never actually met, comments, "I didn't know that you looked so much like Paul Rainey." The remark enrages Phil. He marches around his office for a few minutes before posting his reply. "Over the years, I've been told that I look like Greg Wallace, Harry Hill, Eddie Hitler, Howard from the Halifax adverts, and Clarence Boudica from RoboCop. But Paul Rainey, I've never been so insulted." Clark likes Phil's comment with a laughing emoji. Less than a week later, Mike Rutherford shares some old photos from their days in Genesis with the hashtag #MeAt20. The post receives lots of likes and nice comments from real and virtual friends alike. Someone Phil doesn't know comments on the picture that Mike tagged him in, saying, "Hey, I didn't know you knew Paul Rainey." Phil Collins erupts. "This is twice this week," he shouts. He marches around his office for a few minutes before posting his reply. "You've got a fucking cheek, you fat-faced bastard." Mike blocks Phil again. Thank you. Stage 3. I go for a walk for my hour of permissible exercise. There are quite a few people about as it's a sunny Saturday. I see a cyclist heading toward me, so I walk up onto the grass verge, well in advance of his arrival, to ensure a 2-metre gap between us when we pass. The cyclist doesn't deviate from the dead centre of the path. During stage 1 of the lockdown, this would have angered me, but because I'm at stage 3, detached amusement, I shout after him, "You're welcome!" As I approach the underpass, I can see 2 groups of people having a conversation and standing at either side of the path. During stage 2, this would have made me fearful, but because I'm at stage 3, I amuse myself by suggesting as I approach that you all stand on the same side that others can pass by at a safe distance. And they do. To a man fixing tiles to the roof of his house, I shout, "We're supposed to be protecting the NHS during the pandemic, not doing more dangerous things." To a man that offers me a trolley outside the supermarket, I say, "No thanks, mate. I'd go for one of those been disinfected." To a man kicking a football ahead of himself along a path, I say, "Maybe not do this, as you clearly haven't got the necessary skills." Straightening, he snarls, "What did you say?" I reply, "I said there's a pandemic on and you shouldn't be near a football at this time, as it's obvious to everyone that you can't control it." "You cheeky fucking bastard," he says, raising his fists. "I'll show you ball control." A sentence which upon examination means nothing but on the street says, "Let's fight." I look at him glare over his knuckles 2 metres away. I lift my left fist and cough on it. I lift my right fist and cough onto that and say, "Come on then!" The man says, "Maybe not," picks up his football and walks away. Thank you. So, before the pandemic, it wasn't unknown for me to write to corporations and companies whose services I was disappointed in to let them know it's the only way they're going to improve. Plus, I was hoping to get something out of it usually. But in this time of the pandemic and lockdown, I feel it's important to let companies know if you appreciate how they're reacting to the situation. And here's a recent letter that I sent to Sainsbury's on the matter. "Dear Sainsbury's, Many thanks to your response to the pandemic. Although I feel that supermarkets were slow in their response, for example, limits on items that were selling out should have been implemented a fortnight earlier, your staff have displayed professionalism throughout. I hope they receive a big pay rise this year. My favourite thing about the pandemic isn't saying hello to strangers during my designated hour exercise or clapping for the NHS every Thursday. It is seeing couples being split up at the entrance to your stores after a long period of queuing. The reason I am writing is to ask that you continue with this policy once the lockdown is over. Regards, Paul B. Rainey, Esquire. This one is called Supermarket Weep. At the entrance to Sainsbury's, Carol Malone raises her palm and says, "Just a moment, please." Olivia and Xander stop and tut. Ever since the collapse of the newspaper industry, taking with it talk radio and TV, which relied upon it for content, columnists have had to find other jobs. For example, Rod Little now works as a hospital porter, Richard Littlejohn in an Esso petrol station, and Carol Malone in a supermarket. "Come on, love, what's the delay?" says Xander. "It's one out, one in, I'm afraid," replies Carol haughtily. There's a new wave of coronavirus, and so once again the country has gone into lockdown and supermarkets have had to re-implement their pandemic procedures. "Also, only one of you can come in," honks Carol. "You what?" reacts Xander. "Because we have a strict number of customers that we're able to allow into the store, we're only able to let one adult from each household in at a time," explains Carol in a voice that only an angry old age pensioner could love. "Honk!" shouts Xander. Olivia giggles. "I beg your pardon," says Carol. "Honk!" shouts Xander again. "Honk, honk, honk," giggles Olivia. "Honk!" continues Xander. "Here, come on, you two. They're only doing their job," says the man queuing 2 metres behind them. "It's Carol Malone, mate," says Xander to the man. "Carol Malone?" says the man, laughing. "Honk! It's Carol Malone." Before long, the whole queue is honking. "I don't get paid enough for this," honks Carol Malone, moving to go. But a security guard standing nearby, whose job appears to be to watch Carol Malone, says, "Better not leave your post, love, or they'll all rush in." So Carol Malone stays standing there, listening to the honks and laughter travel up and down the queue, remembering when she once held News of the World readers and Jeremy Vine viewers in her thrall. That's it, I've had enough.